Hi, this is Aaron Eisberg, Nog from Star Trek Deep Space Nine, and you're listening to Beyond Trek. You can follow them on Twitter at Beyond Trek Pod and on Facebook at Beyond Trek Productions.
This is Beyond Trek Podcast, your source for Star Trek on social media and around the web. I'm BigJ.
I'm Watney.
And I'm Dag, the Trivia Master. You can find us on Facebook at Beyond Trek Podcast and on Twitter at Beyond Trek Pod.
Red alert.
So here's another great thing about the Star Trek world with the fandom is dressing up. Dressing up in your favorite uniforms, doing the cosplay, putting yourself in kind of a role play type of situation. And here recently, there was a comic expo in our town for myself and Nacho, the Cincinnati Comic Expo. And we got to see some folks there and to talk to. So now we're on here also with Dag and Nacho and Tato. So I want to ask you guys and kind of go around. We'll start with you, Dag. Cosplay? Are you into that kind of thing?
Yeah.
What's a uniform? What do you got? Who do you cosplay as?
Well, for Star Trek, I have Commander Riker's dress uniform from Star Trek Insurrection. So it's the pretty white uniform with the gray front and the gold piping. And since I'm known around here as the beard, so the audience can just imagine.
That's great.
Well, these days I'm a bit more Riker, captain of the Enterprise after the Borg took over.
Yes.
I definitely I do sport the beard. And
you don't know what it's like in our universe.
You don't know what it's like in our universe. The Federation's gone. The Borg is
fire a torpedo across their bow. Sir, they exploded. What?
Yeah, open fire. Try to disable them. Launch a freaking photon torpedo at the ship.
Yeah, that's bad. But yeah, that is currently the only, I would say the only sort of canon Starfleet uniform I have. I took a black fleece that I got as a gift and I converted it into a special ops uniform because it looks very similar to the ones that Crusher, Picard, and Worf wear at the first episode of Chain of Command.
Okay, yes, the dress uniform here.
Yeah, the black, the all black special ops uniform that they wear on Cardassia.
Tato, what about you?
I haven't done anything in terms of Star Trek costuming recently, but back in the day when I was still in my single digits in terms of age, I did have a TNG costume that I wore for Halloween.
You had a TNG costume. Okay, that's cool. Now, believe it or not, when I was younger, there used to be Star Trek conventions all over the place. This was in the 90s, in the heyday. And I put together my own thing. It was basically a long sleeve red shirt, black pants, and a black sweater. And I had one of those toy communicators from Next Gen. Who did the toy line back then? Was it Playmates? I think it was Playmates. And it was a TNG communicator, and you could press the middle of it, and it would actually do like the sound, the communicator sound. So that was my mock-up. So
I still have mine.
You have your communicator?
It still works.
It still works?
The big, clunky communicator.
Yeah, the huge ass thing, yeah.
And when you push the button, the little red light flashed.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah, I've had it with the original battery for that long, and it still works.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
How well does it work?
Just like new. I mean, the comm badge itself was made of like a copper colored plastic that had this mirror sticker in the shape of a delta stuck to it. So the sticker itself is a little, it's a little worn, but you push the button, it still chirps right up.
I had all the toys. I had the phaser that was from the like season 3 and beyond, and I had the tricorder. I really wish that they would have done a toy on the Dustbuster phaser from season 1, season 2, because I loved that design for the cosplay. So, Nacho, how about you? Have you done any cosplay?
Like, not actual cosplay, I guess. The only time I ever dressed up as anything close to Star Trek was when I was in like 4th grade for Halloween, when I dressed up as Geordi, and I used your old stuff for like the communicator and the phaser and I'm pretty sure I had to like order different glasses. They didn't, they obviously weren't like the visor Jordy wears, but yeah, they were close enough. They were sunglasses, but then I had to take them off because after a while it got dark and I could not see anything, and I'm pretty sure I tripped that night.
You tripped that night. Well, that's true because LeVar Burton has always said that it was very hard to see in that visor, and he would bump into things, trip over stuff, et cetera, et cetera. You're right. I remember that. I remember that Halloween. So Nacho wanted to go as Geordi LaForge, so I got him some. I think it was an actual toy visor of the character, or maybe we just got something that was close to it. I gifted him my old tricorder and phaser, and yeah, he went out for Halloween as Geordi LaForge.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I like it.
Well, and that was a lot of fun. Dressing up, wearing the uniforms, doing the cosplay is great. That's a lot of fun. And we went to the Cincinnati Comic Expo recently, Nacho and I, and got to talk to a lot of folks there. And Dag, it's funny how you talk about you really only have one option as who you're cosplaying as, because you look so much like either Riker or the Riker that was in the Borg controlled alternate universe. Well, we talked to some folks there that not only had a lot of fun with the cosplaying, the dressing up, but also some folks that had a very striking resemblance to certain characters, and so that was basically their only choice there. So at this year's Comic Expo, there were special guests there from Star Trek. We had Will Wheaton, who played Wesley Crusher on TNG. Brent Spiner, of course, who played Data on TNG, the TNG movies. Was also Lore, B4, Dr. Soong, and Eric Soong and Enterprise. And also Nichelle Nichols, original Uhura, was there. So we were there, did some interviews, talked to some folks about their cosplay and their dress up. So let's just take it right to our floor interviews in the field between myself and Nacho. This is BigJ, and I'm here with Nacho. We are at a comic expo that we come to every year where we get to see some comics, some exhibitors, some folks doing some cosplay, also get to see some celebrities. And Nacho, why don't you tell us what you're hoping for, what you're expecting this year?
I'm mainly looking for a popular celebrity that involves maybe a little Star Trek in a movie or any TV show, really.
And last year, when we were here, one of your favorites, LeVar Burton, who played Geordi on Star Trek The Next Generation. How was that as an experience?
Seeing him there was really cool without seeing him having like something in his eyes or anything. And I don't know, I was really surprised to see him at all.
Well, do you know who we're going to get this year? We're going to have Nichelle Nichols, who played Uhura on Star Trek The Original Series. We're also going to have Brent Spiner from The Next Generation. He also played a part on Enterprise. And we have Will Wheaton, who played Wesley Crusher on The Next Generation.
Wow, that's actually pretty cool. Never knew.
Okay, so let's go check this out. Hopefully we'll find some folks dressed up and get a couple sound bites from them. So tell us what your name is.
I'm Chris.
Chris, is this your first Comic Expo?
No, I've been here maybe 3 or 4 times.
And you have a Starfleet outfit here, striking resemblance to Commander Riker. I got to tell you, it looks really good.
Well, I started with what are some characters that have a beard, and I love Star Trek, so there's basically only one you can go with. So.
Right. Well, yeah, you've got a beard, so you've only got one choice there. So now, did you make this yourself? Did you put this together, or was it something you ordered?
No, this is very low effort. I purchased the shirt, and then I put together all the pins and the emblem and stuff. But the pants and shoes are just stuff I have for normal wear, so it's a very low effort costume.
Now, have you gotten any autographs, pictures with the stars here today? We've got Will Wheaton, Brent Spiner, Nichelle Nichols.
No, I just got here about maybe 15, 20 minutes ago. So I haven't. I usually don't see the celebrities when I come here. I don't know. For me, it just always feels too awkward, and it's not a big deal for me. But I understand those are some big gets for the show if they want to see them.
It is. It really is. So now you got to tell me, who was your favorite character in any of the Star Trek series?
Picard.
Picard fan, huh?
Yeah, definitely. And then I'm actually also a fan of Janeway, and I like Enterprise. You know, you might not run this interview because of that, but
It's been a long road.
I love Enterprise. I think it's really good and underrated.
What do you think of this theme song?
You get used to it.
Yeah, and then you get used to it, and in season 3 they change it.
Yeah, honestly, I think it fits with the character of the show. You know, it kind of bridges the gap. It's not as lofty, you know, but it kind of has a good message. I like it, actually. So.
Great. Well, Chris, thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Have a good one. Thanks.
All right. We are seeing Will Wheaton. He's right over there at his booth. Got a lot of folks lined up to see him, getting autographs and pictures. Brent Spiner, you can hardly see him through the crowd either. Pretty popular as well. Nichelle Nichols. Basically, they've all got a big crowd of folks looking to get in a little word with them, meeting them probably for the first time or for the more than the first time. Getting autographs, pictures, selfies. Well, Nacho, out of these three, it's probably a tough one, but Nacho, who would you say is your favorite amongst the original Uhura, Data, and Wesley Crusher?
To be honest, I think I'd probably have to say Wesley Crusher.
Really? Okay, well that's good. That's good. That's great. You know that I first got a autograph with him back in 1987 at a mall here in town, which was pretty cool. I showed you that picture, which you thought was real funny. So now 32 years later, he's back in Cincinnati again, which I thought was pretty cool. What do you think of that?
I think that's good luck, I guess. You get to meet him again.
So Nacho and I just got done talking to Will Wheaton, Star Trek's Wesley Crusher. Showed him a nice picture of myself from 1987 at Northgate Mall. Went there to get his autograph. This was, he just told me, was before the premiere of The Next Generation. So I was totally geeked out, and he remembered that photo that we did here at a local mall over 30 years ago now. So after I come off of Cloud 9 here, we're going to keep going around. And for our listeners, he has asked to be on the Beyond Trek podcast. Apparently he's got a book that's going to be coming out next year, and wanted to be on our show. So we'll be watching out for that. So just to give you a little preview there, we're going to have Will Wheaton at some point on Beyond Trek podcast. So Nacho, let's get back out there and see what other interviews we can get. Okay, so first tell us your name.
Eric Owens.
And the shirt you've got on, did you make that? Did you buy that? You got it. It's a Starfleet uniform, Lieutenant Commander rank. Are you Data?
Actually, yeah. I was here for the Brent Spiner photo.
Okay, so you got a photo with Brent Spiner, played Data with your shirt on. I'm sure he probably really appreciated that.
Yeah.
Now, do you come to Comic Expos often?
Yeah. Well, okay. We come to this one every year. Whether or not I go to another con throughout the year is sort of hit or miss. I may or may not, but I come to this one every year.
Now, who is your favorite character in all of the Star Trek series?
All the Star Trek series?
Yes. You got to pick one. If you had to pick one, who would it be?
Q.
Oh, okay. All right. Going big, going with Q. Okay. So are you hoping to see Q reprises, John DeLancey reprise his role as Q in Star Trek Picard?
Yeah, I mean, we know for a fact he's not dead.
Well, that's true. So, could come back. That's what we're hoping for. I'm sure it's pretty exciting seeing Brent Spiner back in costume outfit again as Data. Yeah. So a lot to look forward to there.
No doubt, man. I'm pretty hyped for it. In fact, she's distracted right now. Mom's behind me. She wanted me to ask whether or not he was going to be in Picard. But when the opportunity came, I said, Mom's got a question. And I asked her.
No, you put it on your mom, huh?
I put it on my mom. But she was a great sport about it. And then obviously there was a little bit of a nerd girl moment.
Okay.
She geeked a bit. And then he was like, all right, best wishes to you. And I think, I didn't see it, but I think he patted her on her arm. And as soon as he walked away, she was like, he touched me.
Well, that's great. I bet that was an exciting moment. Well, thank you very much.
Oh, no problem. You have a great day.
Well, Nacho, I don't know about you, but this place is so crowded. It feels like we're in a cattle train.
Yeah, it does, and we got to jam for a few seconds, and I feel like it's going to be like that throughout the whole thing.
Let's go look at some comics and try to find some more folks that want to talk about Star Trek and their cosplay. Okay, so first, why don't you tell us your name?
Yeah, Kayla Detmer.
Okay, yeah, dressed up as Kayla Detmer. This is an awesome outfit that you got here. Now, is this your first comic expo, or do you come to these a lot?
This is my first one in this city, but I go to cons all over the place, yeah.
And you do that outfit. I'm sure it gets a lot of compliments because that's pretty good.
Actually, the first time I'm wearing this outfit, so yeah, a couple of kids in the hotel ran into us and it was like, Star Trek, got really excited, so that was cool. But yeah, so far, only a couple of people have recognized me, but I just got here.
Now, did you make this yourself?
No, store-bought, unfortunately. Yeah, I'm not that crafty.
Okay, so now let me ask you this. I'm sure I know the answer to it, but who's your favorite character in all the Star Trek series?
I'd have to say Kayla Detmer.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
This is the crew.
Okay, so here's the crew. So we've got dressed up as Dr. McCoy. I'm sure Captain Kirk, Captain Picard. So why don't you guys tell me first your names?
My name is Will.
I'm Joe. Oh, I'm Sean.
All right, so is this your guys' first comic expo? Do you come to these often? You got a red shirt. We already lost him.
We already lost him. It's the first one to go anyway.
He already died.
Right, yeah. They get distracted, lose the crowd. You've got to get one of those like adult leaches for them.
Yeah, I know. The one with the shock taser would be the best, I think.
Yeah. So now, here we are. Found us. We were just talking about red shirts, and
This is how you guys died.
Right.
So I'm still here.
What's your name?
I'm Scotty.
Scott. Okay. Scotty. That's good. So we've got the whole crew here now. Do you guys usually come to these, together, dressed up?
Actually, this is our first one.
Yeah. This is our first time doing it. I'm kind of seeing everything for the first time, sort of taking it all in more so. Yeah.
So what do you think about it so far?
I was pleasantly surprised. I mean, I was like, holy crap, this is really cool.
I'm glad
Everyone that walks by, I'm like,
Right.
I feel weird looking at them, but like, it's also kind of cool at the same time that everyone's in the same mindset as you are.
Yeah.
Now, did you guys come here to see any particular guests that are from the show?
I mean, not really. I mean, it'd be cool to see Uhura, of course. I mean, that would be great. But also seeing Data, who's also Dr. Oak in Independence Day. It was one of our favorite movies.
Great movie.
Right? So we're excited to see that too. But it's cool to just see just the regular people, and kind of have that sense of community. It's cool. It's really cool.
Now, got to ask you the trick question here.
No.
Who's your favorite character in all the Star Trek series?
Ooh, I don't know.
Now, you're dressed up like Captain Picard, okay? So I mean, I would think.
Yeah, but it's Captain Kirk. I mean, Captain Kirk's where it's at. He's so cool. you can't go off that. But no, Picard's cool. I like Picard's haircut. It matches my own. So
Matches yours.
yeah, exactly. So.
Well, there's not a lot of choices if you're going to cosplay,
Either that or the bad guy from the first Star Trek movie.
Nero,
yeah.
Nero, yeah.
It's gonna be the other one,
that would
but
have been a very
lot
time
of
intensive.
Well, because earlier there was a gentleman we talked to and had the beard, black hair, and I asked, okay, obviously you're probably dressed as Riker, and he said, well, yes, there's not many choices when you have a beard.
Right, that's solid. That's hilarious. Yeah.
How about you, your favorite character?
It's got to be Kirk, man. I mean, he's after my own heart.
How about you?
Bones all the way. Definitely Dr. McCoy. I work in the medical field too, so like me and him just kind of have a special connection.
And I'm going to say that you're going to just embody every red shirt as your favorite.
I'm rest in peace to all those red guys out there. I'm hearing their name and their spirit. The last standing one.
You got a favorite character out of all?
Scotty for sure, the chief engineer. Yeah, for sure. Got some Scottish heritage.
Right.
I like mean drink.
Right. Yeah.
We share a lot of things. Yeah. Mostly the drinking, but yeah.
Well, thank you very much. Okay, well, we're taking a little sidebar here real quick. Had a lot of excitement going so far here with Nacho, seeing Will Wheaton, Brent Spiner, Nichelle Nichols, and I think we're going to do a little bit more walking around, see if we can find some more folks to do interviews with. So first, why don't you tell us your name?
Zach.
Zach, you said? Okay, well, now is this your first Comic Expo?
Yes.
Okay, and who are you dressed up as?
I'm just dressed up as a captain.
Okay, now do you have a favorite captain out of all the Star Trek series?
Janeway.
Okay, so you're a Janeway fan.
Yeah. But that's probably mostly because that's what I'm working on right now. So.
Okay. So have you come to see any of the stars in particular? We've got Will Wheaton here, Brent Spiner, Nichelle Nichols.
I mean, I'm getting ready to go. I was going to try to go up and get to the Brent Spiner panel here in a little bit.
Well, that's great. Well, hope you have a lot of fun with it. Hope you enjoy the expo. Thank you. So, you guys, This is awesome. You've got now who are you dressed up as?
Lieutenant Commander Data.
Okay, all right, good. And
My version of James Kirk.
okay, and then what's your name?
My real name is Charles.
And how are you?
Drew.
Drew, okay. Now, this is the outfit from Star Trek Beyond, which looks really nice. This is a good setup. Now, this is something that you got on your own that you bought. Did you make any of these outfits?
Oh no, I bought this. I'm not that good of a maker. So yeah, I purchased this last year. So glad it still fits.
Right, yeah. It'd be a shame if it didn't, right? So now, do you guys come to these comic expos often, or is this kind of a, first time, been here several times?
This will be our 6th, 7th year coming. We came a few years back, and we decided we liked it so much, had a lot of fun, so we kept coming back again.
Now, did you come for any of the stars in particular to see between Will Wheaton, Brent Spiner, and Nichelle Nichols?
We definitely came for Brent Spiner and Will Wheaton and Nichelle Nichols. They were our main focus this year. So,
yeah, after we got the pictures and autographs and all of that, kind of fangirling a little bit. But
that's okay though. That's what you're here for.
Right. But yeah, that was mainly our main focus. Brent Steiner and Nichelle Nichols.
Okay. So now, favorite characters from any of the shows.
oh man, that is such a tough one. I mean, my favorite has always been Data. Just to see him go from Soong to Lore to Data, it's good to see his range and whatnot. He's just always been a very unique character that I grasp onto.
It's funny you brought that up because just last night I watched Brothers, and basically this scene, he's in the room and he's Lore, he's Data, he's Dr. Soong, and I was thinking, well, he's in a room by himself acting that scene, but the way he was able to do each of the three distinctly with the different voice patterns, even between Lore and Data, he really, was able to knock it out of the park there. So how about you? Favorite character?
It's a tough one. It's between, of course, Captain Kirk, Picard. Just to change it up a little bit, the Sons of Moab, Worf and his brother.
There we go. Okay, good pick. All right, well, thank you guys.
Oh, thank you.
Well, Amber came down as our photographer, and her and I work together at the same company. Thank you for coming down and taking pictures with us.
Oh, not a problem.
All right, so I'm going to ask you the same question I've been asking everyone else. Who's your favorite character?
Easily Data.
Okay, another Data fan. I think Data has a lot of fans here today.
I would agree.
But you didn't dress up.
I did not.
Why not?
Honestly, I don't have any of the merchandise. I'm such a noob.
Oh, okay. So now, have you gone through all the Star Trek series? You're still doing a rewatch, aren't you?
I am doing a first-time watch through.
That's right, first time watch through. Okay, so where are you at now?
Currently on Generations.
Oh, Generations. Okay, good movie. So, if you had to serve on any ship that you've seen so far in Star Trek, which one would be your ship?
Oh, that's a really hard question to answer. I'm not positive, to be honest. I would have to research the ships more.
Okay, well, fair enough. Don't pick Voyager. You'll be stuck in the Delta Quadrant.
Thank you.
The name of the podcast is called Beyond Trek Podcast. So, Beyond Trek Podcast. Yep. It's on Spotify, Google, iTunes, Apple, all of them. So, tell me what you guys are doing here. Looks like you're doing a kind of a Starfleet recruiting sort of thing.
We're with Starfleet Command. It's one of the oldest fan organizations. Been around since 1974. We're here from Louisville, Kentucky. We're the USS Hunter S. Thompson, a relatively new chapter. We've been around since January.
Since January 2019, yeah.
Yeah. So we're here just kind of recruiting, getting the word out. The Starfleet's out there, meeting all the new Trekkies.
Now, what kind of numbers do you get? Do you usually have a lot of folks coming in to sign up to be a part of your organization?
We have, I don't know. We get a lot of different kinds of members. We have a lot of people who used to be in military. We have a lot of people who we have people who are furries. They like to, dress up in the big animal costumes and stuff like that. We have people who design jewelry. I mean, we have older people, younger people. I mean, just anyone who has a passion for Star Trek, and we go out, we have fun, we have meetings once a month where we all get together and eat and drink, and then we just went to go see the motion picture last week in theaters. So we try to make an effort to all get together and have fun with each other and kind of keep the love of Star Trek alive.
Now you got to tell me, because I didn't ask first, what's your name?
My name is Sarah.
I'm Trevor.
All right, Sarah and Trevor. So now you said you just saw the motion picture in theaters. Wish I could have been there to see that, but I could not make the time work. The first movie that got me into Star Trek was Wrath of Khan. So how about you? What was the first movie or show of Star Trek that got you hooked?
There's never been a time in my life I don't remember loving Star Trek. So I actually can't answer that. I remember...
Feels like you were born with it.
Yeah, I remember leaving like my 6th birthday party because they were showing, Channel 19 was showing a double feature of The Menagerie. And my mom wouldn't let the whole neighborhood come in and watch it. So I had to leave my own party to go in. I was so excited.
Left your own party to go watch Star Trek. That is great. Now, can you top that one?
No, I probably can't top that. But Next Generation was my first experience in Star Trek, and I just remember watching that on TV a lot when I was younger, and I love Captain Picard.
Is he your favorite character?
I don't know.
Who is your favorite character?
I love Data. I really love Data a lot.
We have had a lot of Data fans today. Wow, just about everyone we've talked to has said Data. So have you seen Brent Spiner here at the Comic Expo? Got an autograph or a selfie?
Well, I haven't seen him at this convention, but we went to Star Trek Las Vegas a few weeks ago, and so we saw him there. He did a panel, and then we got to go see him live in his concert. So we got to watch him sing, which was incredible. But no, I have not gone to meet him yet. I'm thinking I might do that tomorrow.
Favorite character for you?
Well, of course, the captains. But I think maybe Star Trek's best character is Garrick.
Oh, Garrick, yes, very good pick, very good pick. So now this is going to be, I think, a long-term thing for you doing the recruiting. Pretty happy with it. What would you say is the thing that you like most about the recruiting drive for your group?
What I like most about what?
About the recruiting that you're doing. What do you like most about it?
I just like to meet new people who have a passion for Star Trek, and you meet people from all different walks of life. So there's so much diversity, and it's just really interesting getting to know where those people came from and how they got introduced to Star Trek, what they love about Star Trek, and just anything else that you have in common with them. It's fun to meet people with common interests as yourself, and you get to make new friends that way. It's just a lot of fun to get to experience that with other people.
Now, it looks like the ship you picked to represent you is Miranda class, like the line from Wrath of Khan. So, of all the ships, why the Miranda class?
It was our favorite. And actually we went with it because Miranda class was the ship that Cisco was on in Wolf 359, and we both loved these uniforms from Wrath of Khan. So we went with Miranda class.
Now, if Khan would have known how to fight in space in 3 dimensions, I think maybe he would have won that fight.
Maybe.
Well, thank you all very much.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Okay, so first, why don't you tell me your name?
Paula Watson. Well, Uhura. Paula Watson.
And is this your first Comic Expo?
This was a bucket list item, baby. This is my very first one. I'm so excited.
It's your first one, okay.
First cosplay, first anything. Yes, I'm having a ball.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So, who would you say your favorite character is in any of the Star Trek series?
Do you?
Oh, yeah, Uhura. Okay. You dressed up as your favorite. I got it.
Let's face it. Uhura was one of the first women in a position of power. I was too young to recognize the fact that she was not just a woman, she was a woman of color, and that made it even a bigger deal. But, yeah. No, I gotta say her.
Well, now you do know the story that Nichelle Nichols wanted to leave the show and spoke with Martin Luther King Jr. personally, and he pretty much said the same thing to her, is that this is too important for you and for us, because up to that time, really, African Americans were just, they were the kitchen help or the side characters.
Even in movies, yeah. No, I did not know that story. Thank you for sharing that with me.
I am full of all kinds of Star Trek knowledge that's only good around Star Trek fans. I cannot really use this in everyday conversation, unfortunately.
Well, it works here with me.
Good. So who are you in line to see now?
Nichelle.
Okay, going to get that picture. So that's another check on the bucket list.
Absolutely. I got her autograph already. I got to shake her hand and tell her how much she meant to me growing up, and now I get a picture.
That is great. That's fantastic. Well, thank you very much. All right,
Thank you
enjoy
so
your
much.
picture.
Would you like to meet my friend, Jean-Luc?
Oh, okay. So, yes. Well, I've met a few folks today that didn't have a lot of choices when it came to who they were going to cosplay as.
And he might be one of them.
If it were me, my only choice would be Captain Sisko, because I've got the no hair, the goatee, look.
All I need to do is lose the glasses, and I'm, natural.
Yes, you're right. Now, what's your name?
Chris Price.
Okay, so yes, dressed as Captain Picard, very good outfit. And how about you? Have you come to these Comic Expos?
This is my first time here.
Okay.
First time at any Comic Con, so very
You're
excited.
welcome.
Yeah, thank you. She dragged me along.
She brought you with. Okay. So yeah, I'm not doing this alone, right?
Yeah, no, it's a bucket list thing for Paula. So it's been fun. It's been huge fun. I can't imagine how much fun it's been. So.
Now, is it safe to assume that your favorite character is also Captain Picard?
You would be safe in making that assumption.
Okay. I think by de facto, I have run into a lot of folks today that they were dressed as their favorite, whether that was their only choice or not. But really, Captain Picard is a good choice. Now, you got to tell me, how much are you looking forward to seeing Star Trek Picard when that airs?
I am overly excited about that. I am really excited. I love the trailers that they've done, and the way they brought other characters back in, I think it's just going to be superb. I'm so excited about it.
Now, when I watched the trailer, and this was, we talked about the trailer in one of our episodes of Beyond Trek podcast, seeing 7 of 9 on the screen again, when I first watched the trailer, the day it was released during the San Diego Comic-Con, almost fell out of the couch. And then right at the very end, seeing Brent Spiner again as Data, I believe I probably passed out. Like, I don't recall a whole lot right after that moment, but these are good times we live in.
Yeah.
Star Trek is back. It's almost like we're getting TNG season 8, what it feels like, just further in the future. Don't want to spoil it for you, but we've got a few other characters that are coming back. So what do you think about that?
I am very excited to hear that. I love 7 and 9 in Voyager, and I loved Brent Spiner in Next Generation. I just got my photo taken with him today, so good times. And it does feel
And he
like...
has a life-size 7 of 9 in his kitchen. So.
Yes, well, everybody should.
Right, yeah. No, I think I would get kicked out of the house if I had the life size of 7 of 9 in the house.
Unfortunately, she's cardboard, but
Right. Well, gotta do what we got to do.
Line somewhere.
You do. Yeah, that's right.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for your time, and glad you enjoy the Comic Expo, and glad this is your first one. Hope you enjoy it, and hopefully we'll see you here again.
I may be back. I don't know about Paula.
I'll come back.
Thank you very much.
It was a lot of fun. I'm glad we did it. A lot of people here, a lot of cosplaying going on, especially with Star Trek. A lot of vendors, comics, memorabilia, collectibles. And I don't know about you, but it's Cincinnati, so let's go get some cheese conies.
Yeah.
So there it is. We were at the Cincinnati Comic Expo down at the Duke Convention Center, the Duke Energy Convention Center. And Nacho and I have been going to these comic expos for several years. And let's see, last year, LeVar Burton was there. That was pretty cool. So, you got to hear from some of the folks that go to that were there at the Comic Expo who dress up as their favorite character. And, we had a lot of folks like Dag. So you got to hear that some of these cosplayers really had only the one choice.
I, for one, was really pleased with some of the work that people put in. Whether they made their own stuff or they bought it online or did any number of things, they really showed off their admiration for the characters they play or just the series they love to watch all the time.
And I think it was very. We had, as you could hear, we had a lot of folks who, when asked who's your favorite character, there's a lot of Data fans out there. A lot of Data fans, a lot of Brent Spiner fans that were out there amongst the crowd.
I did hear that.
And you're right. I think that it's kind of a very, very fun thing to do, and everyone we talked to just had a great time. And I really liked talking to. There were a couple a couple folks there in the crowd. It was their first time dressing up, their first time doing the cosplay, and that was the missus who was crossing that off her bucket list. This was her first Comic Expo, her first time cosplay, and her friend that was with her, first time for him as well. When as Captain Picard, it's really nice being with a crowd like that, and Nacho was there along with us. So Nacho, I just want to ask you, so what was your favorite part of the whole weekend of the expo?
I think meeting a lot of people that dressed up as the characters I knew. Like it was one of my favorite ones was that lady that dressed up as that character from Discovery, and yeah, that was one of my favorite things I saw there. And well, that whole table of combat crap.
Yes, it was one of the interviewees we had was dressed as Kayla Detmer, which was a really good cosplay that she did. And there was also a booth that was doing recruiting. If you remember that, the recruiting for a role-playing group was a Miranda class ship that is not far from town where we are here. And that was a big thing. I really like hearing about that. They're down there. They're trying to engage folks, get people together who like role playing in Star Trek and doing those role play groups, like you're on your own ship kind of thing. So it was really a great experience, and seeing Will Wheaton in person, Brent Spiner, Nichelle Nichols, and I've got to tell you, so I'm going to give you guys a little story here. So in 1987, this was before TNG aired. All the stars were going all around the U.S. Promoting, going to different conventions or places. Well, here in town, here where I live, there's a mall close by, and so Will Wheaton was there at that mall, and I went with my mom. This was in 1987, so I wanted to see, this guy's going to be in Star Trek. He was in Stand By Me. This is going to be awesome. Want to go get his autograph. So she took a picture, and it's a notorious picture, at least to me. And in this picture, I'm wearing these crazy 80s era shorts. I mean, it didn't scream more 80s than that. The kind of hairdo I had. So it's a picture of me getting autographed with Will Wheaton, and I'm just talking with him there. So fast forward 32 years. So 32 years later, he's back here in Cincinnati. He's got his booth. He's doing the autographs, et cetera, et cetera. So Nacho and I get in line to, we didn't get an autograph, just wanted to talk, say hi. But I had the picture. I had the picture pulled up on my phone. I get up to him and I say, so, hey, Will, I introduced myself. I said, my name's Jefferson. Here's this picture that we took that we had from 1987. Here's you and me. I'm getting your autograph. And he's like, oh yeah, I remember that. I remember that picture because I had sent that to him before on social media, just under my moniker BigJ. And for the first time here, we put a name to the face. And it was, you should have seen how he lit up when I told him, I'm that guy. I'm this guy who showed you that pictures, talked to you before. And it was great. And it was just kind of a spectacular moment to see that, to know that, yes, he knew who I was. And then we put it together and we're just talking about stuff. And it was great. It was a very great experience. It was like, here it is over 30 years, you're back and here's this picture, and it was really awesome. And I said, we're doing this podcast. I'm doing this podcast called Beyond Trek Podcast. Would love to have you on sometime. Want to talk to you, do an interview with you here at the Comic Expo, but unfortunately we didn't arrange that prior. Didn't know that was supposed to be the thing. And he told us, he said, well, I'm releasing a book. He's got a book that's coming out next year. And he said, once that book comes out, I would love to be on your podcast. And I tell you not, when he said that, I know I responded back right away and said, oh yeah, that's awesome. That's cool. We'd love you. But it felt like And it took me an hour to say that. It felt like I was locked in time. Like, oh my God, Will Wheaton wants to be on our podcast. And that was, it might sound silly to some, but that was a moment. That was a great moment to be able to just talk with him, standing right there. He's a great guy, really nice. It was great to see him again after after all this time, and just really nice to talk to. Will's awesome, and he really engages with the communities out there, especially the social media communities. There is a community out there on Reddit, another big social media site. There's this community called Star Trek Gifts, and basically they do gifts based off of the Star Trek shows, movies, put witty titles on them. And at one point there was a thread, community thread in one of the comments that he appeared in, made a comment. So yeah, he's got a presence there. That's great. And just love seeing him around. So I don't know about you guys, but I was pretty stoked this weekend.
I am eternally envious.
That's so awesome, Jay. It's so great to be able to not just see someone who was a childhood hero to us both. I've never met Will in person. I love the audiobooks that he narrates, but I am envious. I was envious of that first picture that you showed of you at the mall with him, towering over him. You were tall.
Well, in his defense, I was sitting down. He was sitting down. I was standing.
Yeah. But being able to reconnect with him as adults 3 decades later, and to have him remember that and engage you, not just as the next fan asking for an autograph, but as two people who had these two shared moments in time. I think that's such a great experience, just as a human being, but also for fandom.
It was, and you're right. It's a great experience because, just the fact that he remembered that, and like that photo was not new to him, and of course it's because I showed it to him. I've he's seen it in the past from showing it to him. But you're right. Of all the people that you meet, and I'm sure he's met, to have that time where it seemed like, yes, that this was kind of a connection through time where, and you're right, 3 decades later, like here we are, you're back in this town, and we're so much older now, and lives are different and all of that. But it really, to me, seemed like, hey, I can call him a friend. And that probably sounds corny, but to me, that was enough right there to say, yeah, we there was some connection there. I could call Will a friend anytime, have a drink with the guy, anything like that. I'm sure I've got a distinct enough name that he'll probably remember it, which is great. But for me, that was special. That was a nice moment to be able to do that. And Nacho, he got a good chance to dig on the old man there, because apparently, not apparently, it was true. In this picture, I had some very skinny legs.
I mean, like, you said he joined football like right around middle school or whatever. I thought he would be a little more buffer.
But I was like 12. I mean, what do you? No, I was 10. I was 10 at that time. What do you want? I wasn't even in football yet.
And that tall?
Oh yeah, dude, I was a monster.
What kind of growth spurts did you have?
It was the water. It must have been the water. Right. Yeah. So yeah, I was, let's see, that was when I was 10. I think I was already wearing a size 14 shoe.
You sure you don't have giantism?
We grew them big back in those days. So yeah, I hadn't quite developed yet. And it was great. That is a great father and son moment when you're standing there in front of a celebrity, an actor from Star Trek, and you've got a son that just roasts you right in front of the guy.
Okay, I wasn't trying to roast you. I was just trying to kind of try.
You roasted me.
You were trying. There is no getting around it.
The betrayal is real.
See, you're trying to hide the laughter.
Yes. I don't know. I don't know what to do. So yeah, Nacho was my correspondent out in the field. We got some good pictures, which we're going to have on our Twitter and Facebook. And of course, on Twitter, we are at Beyond Trek Pod. And Facebook is Beyond Trek Productions. We'll have the photos there. And it was great. It was great being there at the Comic Expo, talking with fans and with the cosplayers. Had a really great time. So what I'd like to do is, for the Comic Expo, close on a story, one of my favorite stories from the Cincinnati Comic Expo. So this was a few years ago. Nacho and his older sister, my oldest daughter, they were kids. We're at the expo, just walking around, looking around, enjoying all the sights and everything. So they go upstairs, up to the second level of the place, and they saw someone. No, I'm telling this story. No, stop it. He doesn't want me to tell it. So there was a Slender Man, like mannequin costume kind of thing, sitting in a chair. And you remember Slender Man, the white hood or white face, white cap, no face kind of thing, long arms. So sitting in a chair. And so he and his sister go up to this and keep tapping on the foot, like reaching over, tapping on the foot. Well, it was a guy. It was some dude dressed up as a Slender Man, and he had fallen asleep. So he was sleeping, and he felt his foot kept getting tapped. So he kind of jumped up, and so Nacho and his sister come tear-assing down the escalator, and I'm standing there, and I remember seeing them flying down the escalator. I'm thinking, what are they doing? Why are they running like that? So it was because this guy scared the crap out of them. They didn't think it was a real person. And he woke up and they jumped. And my wife said that these two knuckleheads like lifted up a foot or two off the ground and like a foot backwards in midair and just bolted. That was great. That was great. Why are you mad? That's a great story.
It's a story not to tell.
Okay, so I might have to edit out that story.
I think he gets the right to tell it for you roasting him.
How is it roasting?
Yes.
It was just...
You dissed me in front of Will Wheaton.
That's like sacrilege.
Dude, Will Wheaton is going to remember that. In 30 years, when Nacho takes his kid to see Will Wheaton and Nacho's like, hey, do you remember when I dissed my dad in front of you? Will's going to be like, I remember that.
Yes.
He's still going to remember it.
Nacho, do you acknowledge that he's right?
Okay, well, one, I'm not going to take my kids to the Comic-Con. I'm going alone so I can actually have some time alone.
Why? No, you're not going alone. You think I wanted to go alone, but no, I've got to drag kids with me each time. That
you'll go alone to like your first 3 or 4, and then you'll realize you hate waiting in line for hours by yourself.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I'll like go like the first few times alone, but like after I get bored and like, I don't know, when I'm not occupied.
30 years from now, you're going to introduce your kids to this and Will Wheaton's going to be there and you're going to tell them.
And I will be there.
And then your kid's going to roast you.
Yes, and I want to watch that.
But wouldn't Will Wheaton be like in his 60s or something?
70s.
76.
Yeah, 76, 77. So no big deal. Yeah.
Fun fact, Will Wheaton just this year turned the same age Patrick Stewart was when Star Trek The Next Generation started filming in 1987.
That is amazing.
That is terrifying.
Unbelievable.
You guys feel old yet?
Yes. I feel very old.
I just use hair from my combs to run through the transporter and rejuvenate myself every 5 or 6 years.
Well, with a beard as solid as yours, I'm sure you do.
Does nobody remember that episode? Star Trek Next Generation. Thank you, Tato. Thank you.
Did I miss a reference?
Yeah, the reference was when Pulaski got old, they used a hair from her comb to rejuvenate her in the transporter in that episode, The Unnatural Selection.
I'm sorry, I have most of season 2 kind of like blocked out of memory.
We are Beyond Trek Podcast. Lower your inhibitions and surrender your years. We will add inspirational and hilarious Trek content to your day. Your attention will adapt to subscribe to us. Resistance is futile.